Just a reminder that we love questions from the audience, so you can start commenting your questions now, or you can also add them as we go. I'll be right back on to welcome our guests to the show.
Sometimes coordinating multiple loads, clients, emails, and accounts becomes confusing and tedious. Introducing TIE TMS, the first all-in-one tool that helps you optimize your freight broker processes. You can send and receive quotes, review the shipment status, and keep control of your invoices all from one single screen. It's easy to manage and utilizes the best integrations. Don't take our word for it, our customers are raving about TIE. With TIE, you can improve your productivity by 75%. Go to tiesoftware.com and get a free demo now.
Good morning, everybody. This is episode 42. I was thinking in my mind I might have repeated episode 42. But it's either 42 or 43, but it's going to be called 42. And I am coming to you guys from Chicago this week. I am at the Journal of Commerce Inland Distribution Conference. And so if you guys have been following the show the last few months, we've been promoting a lot of conferences. We are starting to now slowly check those off. And so I was at Trimble Insight recently. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to check out the special edition content that was released on the podcast channel from Trimble. We're doing the same thing here at the Journal of Commerce Inland Distribution Conference. There will be special edition episodes releasing on our LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple podcast channels as well throughout the week. And then we have 2 more conferences still coming up that we are helping to promote that I will be attending. We want to get the word out. The next is DATCon, which is in my home city of Kansas City. It's coming up in just a couple of weeks. That one's going to be a lot of fun. I do have a discount code that will save you $200 off of your registration. It's in the comments to this show. And then we're thinking a little bit farther out, but it's coming up really quick. We have the Manifest Conference in Las Vegas, which is a really big one. This will be our 3rd year attending that and podcasting. And there is a link that will also save you some money there in the comments. And then also we have a new link that we are adding. I have a link now to our partner TIE, and I have a code COFFEE that if you guys use that when you sign up for a free demo and an intro call, if at any point in the future you guys move forward with TIE, it'll save you $500 off of your partnership with TIE. And if you guys noticed in the commercial, we run that TIE commercial at the beginning of every show. There's a couple of things that it talks about. It talks about all the integrations, all the partnerships with other technology companies and tools. And it talks about helping to control costs and increase your productivity. And those are a couple of the topics that we're going to be speaking with today with my special guest, Lina. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. Lina is from TIE. She's not just here because they're part of sponsoring this podcast, but because she's a wealth of knowledge. And I'm very excited to have you on this morning, Lina. Good morning.
Good morning, Sam. Thank you for having me here. I'm really excited about this conversation, and I hope everyone enjoys this too.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Can you tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, your background, so we can get to know you a little better?
Of course. Well, my name is Lina Castaneda. I am Chief Customer Officer here at TIE Software, which is a cloud-based, fully integrated transportation management system, or TMS, for 3PLs and freight brokers. And well, a little bit about myself. I am Colombian, and I have over, 12 years of experience in operations and customer service, customer experience. And I always like to say that I bring kind of a fresh perspective to the industry because I jumped into the world of transportation only 4 years ago. Yeah. So it may sound like a short time, but I think a year in this industry really feels like way more because of how big it is. Yeah, it's huge, and you're learning and developing yourself every single day. So yeah, in this short time, I've grown to through different roles. And now as a CCO, I'm overseeing diverse teams like the technical support and integration, the onboarding team, learning and development as well. So right now, my focus is on leading strategic planning efforts and ensuring that the operational strategies align with our organizational goals, always thinking, of course, about our customer satisfaction and our customers' success. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, I have a lot of questions for you today. We'll see if we can get through them all. Technology is... it is a hot topic. It really has been. And I think mostly because some people are just getting overwhelmed by it. And so we're having to start consuming a lot more information around what technology is out there, what's working, what's not, what's available, what makes sense for me. And so I wanted to kind of focus at the start of this podcast. We have a lot of brokers who tune in to this call. And I think you guys are in a very unique position because TIE has a pretty dominant position in the brokerage TMS software space. And so you guys interact with a lot of brokers, all different sizes, really. And so I'd love to know and get your perspective as someone who closely interacts with your customer-facing teams. Just over the last few years, as technology has been changing and evolving, and we're getting a lot more thrown at us, what are you seeing? What are some of the things that people are, primarily focusing on or concerned about when it comes to technology, and what should I be doing, and what are some of the trends in the space in the last few years?
Sure. Well, I think you're right. I mean, technology has definitely revolutionized the logistics industry lately. And I think there are different components or different, advances that have really changed the way brokers operate on the day-to-day. So first, I will say all of the automation in freight matching and load booking. I think now brokers can manage more loads in less time, which is amazing. This is allowing them to, of course, scale without increasing headcount necessarily. So yeah, this has been like a game changer for them. And also now we know that automated booking, reducing errors and speeds up operations. So I think that's a really good one. And then I will also mention all the dynamic pricing tools and the automated rate calculation tools as well that have empowered brokers to offer not only instant, but also accurate freight quotes to their customers. So yeah, we see that also reduces the time spent on manual rate negotiation and also enables brokers to stay very competitive in a fast-paced market. So yeah, I will say those. And obviously, we always have to mention all the AI developments and the predictive analytics that have become key in enabling brokers to forecast rates and demand and capacity with a higher degree of accuracy. So yeah, those are the ones that come to my mind right now. But there are many, of course, regarding real-time visibility and tracking, regarding API connectivity as well. And of course, all of the integrations a good TMS can support to streamline the broker's operations and increase efficiency in general.
Do you think as there are more tools and just different technologies and automations and stuff coming available, do you hear of or know of more, say, brokers actually like talking to more brokers and like in stopping? I don't know that it was ever so like closed off where we're like, oh, they're my competitors, I don't want to talk to them. But I feel like I've seen a lot more openness and willingness to be like, hey, what are you guys feeling, experiencing, looking at? Do you guys kind of get do you ever get referrals for like a broker comes to you from a referral of another broker?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that with time, brokers have also come to this conclusion that the more they are sharing best practices and collaborating, the more efficient they will be, because they are not really, competing in a way that they have their own customers and they just want to make sure they are doing the right thing. And maybe one of the process that you are implementing is also helpful, like for my operation. If we're talking, for example, about the TMS, yes, it's the same system for everyone and the same kind of features and the same workflows, but all of our customers use the TMS in a completely different way because they have different needs. They have different teams. They have different tasks on the day-to-day. So it's very helpful when they come together. For example, at our user conferences, they can come together and we are all talking about how you use the system or what's something that you have implemented, and maybe that can be helpful for my business as well. So for sure, I mean, that collaboration has increased a lot, and I think that's adding a lot of value to our brokers' business.
Yeah, I really agree with that. And I know we talked a little bit before the show. I saw a lot of the Thai team at TIA, which is essentially a brokerage conference, right? And so I think that was really evidence there, and how many brokers were like filling one space to talk about technology and options and automation.
Especially now that there are like so many different, like tools and different systems. So the offer is huge right now. So yeah, I think that those conversations are more in place.
You mentioned already certain types of when we say technology, we say automation, that's really broad, right? You mentioned some that were a little bit more specific. If you had to pick like one or two, what would you say like a majority of Thai customers are implementing or interested in or trying to understand more? I think you mentioned maybe like pricing, automation, and booking and things like that. What are a couple of the core like focus areas right now for brokers?
Yeah, I think like different tools and applications have gained significant traction and prioritization among brokers. So I will say that number one, all of those that automate freight matching, forecasting rates, pricing, and load booking, because of course they are helping brokers streamline the operation and increase productivity. And also something that they will always need, hence prioritize, which is real-time visibility, right? So all of those solutions that provide real-time tracking and shipment updates, and also the DFMs and the capacity tools that are helping brokers make, I guess, smarter decisions and stay ahead of the market changes.
Yeah, I love to have the conversation that I think like when we first started introducing automation, I really feel like in my memory, and I've been in the industry for 6 years, and I think a lot of this is newer. I know you said 4, but I think in that time we had like API pricing kind of led the scene with like the idea of automating your like quoting processes on bid boards, sending back real-time rates automatically. And that focus was on getting net new revenue. So like revenue acquisition into your business. And so obviously trying to think about how is a brokerage going to grow, our minds first went to the idea of like bringing in new business. But I think like this weaker freight market the last couple of years has also started to really kind of push brokers to look at automation and technology as, instead of just trying to figure out how we get more volumes, how do we make more money on the volume that exists within our business, which is like increasing productivity, right? By like lowering your operational costs. If you lower the cost to serve and execute a shipment, more of that profit margin is now growing. Or if you're sourcing better, like your capacity with these capacity tools, maybe you're buying a little bit better. And so the load that you already had that you were going to have, maybe it's contract or you win them consistently. I think that's where the shift has come now. Because I feel like we feel pretty confident. We feel pretty set with this idea of like new revenue acquisition there's a couple of providers that come to mind when we're talking about like bidding, automated bidding and all of that. But I feel like we still have so much more room to grow and expand and adopt now on like this efficiency operational side. Are you guys seeing like more partnerships coming out in this space with other tech companies, just more brokers asking questions around your integration partners? I know TI as a TMS, you guys host integration partners, right? And so what has that been like for you guys? Or is there more of a focus now on expanding and making sure you're keeping up with all of these growing partnerships?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the interest is there. And the more, I mean, there are a lot of tools right now that are helping brokers on the day-to-day. And if you ask me, I think the main focus is, number one, the adoption of automation, as I've been mentioning. Like we already said that we need to be able to do more things in less time. So efficiency in general. Brokers are trying to, like automate repetitive tasks like load matching and rate calculations and carrier updates, which in the end reduces labor cost and speeds up the operation. So I would say that's one of their main focus right now that we are seeing. And also optimizing carrier relationships. So using, like real-time data and analytics. This is really helping brokers to build a stronger relationship and a more strategic relationship with reliable carriers. They're able to like secure better rates and improve the service levels in general. So I think those two are the main focuses right now.
Yeah. So I think on that note, because we've been in like the slower market and we're working to get more efficient, right, curb these operational costs, I think something that I'm a fan of, I support, is nearshoring. I know you are from Colombia, and there's a lot of amazing businesses that do staffing work in Colombia and in other countries as well now. I think that was like our Band-Aid fix to like this tedious work. Is like, well, let's find a partner that's more cost effective for our, U.S. business in Colombia or the Philippines or whatever that was, and let's do it that way. But I think now we have the opportunity to revisit that and say, taking tedious work from someone here and giving tedious work to someone there doesn't actually
change anything.
The problem, and that person there still doesn't like that job very much, right? Like it's not fun there if it's not fun here, and so we still have like that's can lead to that churn or retraining people or even just human error when you're dealing with like tedious manual data entry. And so I love now that we are focused on whether you nearshore or not, whoever is helping you to execute these tasks, are you empowering them with technology that's making them actually enjoy that job and want to do that job? And so I really think that I look at nearshoring now and finding talent as like, it is part of the problem, but it is not the full solution. And I think that we're going to get to a point where if that is your full solution and you've decided this is how we're controlling costs, then maybe they're going to find that their competitors who also empower their nearshore talent with these new tools are going to start maybe being more competitive than them in the marketplace. I'd love your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, we are evolving, like we have to adjust to everything that is happening right now. And we want to make everyone more efficient and more productive. So if that means adopting new technology, putting in place automation to make them more efficient and to optimize your times within the operation, then for sure, let's do it.
Well, I want to ask you, what are some of the plans that you guys have for 2025? We've been talking about what people are experiencing now, and right now we have been in like a lower freight market. We just listened to the economic outlook this morning here at this conference. They're all getting more positive. The truckload is supposed to see some new demand growth in 2025, and the market will not dramatically increase, I don't think is what I'm hearing, but like start to improve. And so it'll be a better time for brokers and carriers than what we've experienced maybe in the last few years. And so what do you think will be the focal point for TIE, but also, for any of your partnerships or your clients into the next year?
Well, first of all, it's crazy that we are already talking about 2025 and planning for next year. That's absolutely crazy.
Where did this year go, right?
Yeah. Well, I think the focus it's going to be on different areas, but one of the most important ones, as we've been discussing today, is efficiency and scalability. So that is from all sides. That starts like even with us, our internal team, making sure that we have the right people and that the right people have the right resources to support our customer needs. And of course, as a company, I think we'll continue to work towards advanced automation and AI-driven tools that help brokers operate more efficiently. So we aim to empower clients to handle higher volumes without adding significant operational costs to their day-to-day. So this is something we will keep in mind for sure throughout the whole year.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while now, that I think, like, whenever because we've been trying to call the market change for some time now, and people keep saying, oh, it's going to happen. When's it going to happen? And I've been saying, like, I think when the market changes and you have the first time in a long time to really capitalize on some revenue growth or additional load volumes, your ideal scenario would be you do not have to then incur payroll costs to hire people immediately to handle those volumes. Like, you'll be in such a better position as a broker if you could say, we could take 25% more volume right now without adding another head to this operation. Because then that is just strictly profit margins, right? That we're putting back into the company, back into your bottom line, instead of this so annoying cycle that we seem to somehow perpetuate, where volumes go up, we add more people, volumes go down, we lay off people.
Exactly.
And we're experiencing a lot of layoffs right now. And I think it's just, yes, we had some unprecedented highs back in 20 and 21, but for the most part, I really feel like automation is going to allow us to stop this cyclicality when it comes to like hiring and laying off and firing. Like, that, I think, is going to have, in the future, companies who are doing layoff rounds, it's just a sign of poor operational management.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's a great point. I mean, that's why the automation and adopting new technology is so important, because you want to empower your people. Like, automation, AI, all of these new developments and technology are not replacing your staff. We cannot replace people, real people, with machines. So that's not the main goal, but we do want to empower people to be able to do more and more effectively. So it's super important that we are, open-minded, and that we adopt these new technologies in order to empower our teams.
On that note, I think that, like you said, we're not replacing people, but I think that empowering people through like automation or technology, I've seen it have a real impact on like a company's culture, because job satisfaction, like I mentioned, nobody wants like what do I do for 8 hours a day? I look at spreadsheets, or I look at numbers on this website and put them into spots on this website. Nobody wants to do that. I look at tracking links all day. Like, I do that. I do check calls all day. Like, that's not really what we want to do, no matter who you are.
It's not fun.
No, and I mean, that's the reality, especially at an entry level workforce. Like, I've been talking about that for a while. Like, more and more people are going to college to get an education, to get a career, and young people who want office jobs are coming out of colleges and universities, and they're like, I went to school for 4 years to plug numbers in to a spot and hit enter all day. So I mean, and it stunts, I think, potential like growth opportunities too within a company. When you have to make sure you're maintaining a certain number of people to do certain manual tasks like that, instead of saying, okay, like, you own the process of this, there's all this technology and automation helping with this process, and you are kind of like exception management, and in the time you're not doing that, I want you to help with this project or focus on this or develop this. And so I think we have a super great opportunity to improve like brokerage culture through the use of automation. And what have you guys seen as far as like, when a culture is strong, how is that impacting the operations of a business?
Wow, I think that it's very important. And the more engaged and the more happy they are with their jobs, the better and the more efficient they are on the day-to-day. So I think culture plays a huge role. We see it every single day with our customers. Like, we have different type of customers, of course, different sizes as well, which is completely fine. But they all have very well-defined culture, and you can see that when you're working with them. Like, throughout the whole process. I'm pretty sure that for the sales guys, they notice that throughout the whole discovery process, but also when they come to the onboarding process, we can feel that when we're working with the teams, because we see when management is like really involved in the, decision making, but also everyone has a word and everyone can share their insights, and they are all very involved in the training, for example, because they do care about their business. They do want to learn about this new system that they are getting. So yeah, culture plays a huge role. And I think when everyone is aligned and when everyone understands what the goal is for the company and commits to it, that's a game changer. I mean, you don't have to be absolutely okay with everything, or you don't have to, say yes to everything, but you have to commit to your company's goals. And that is a game changer. And for sure, culture plays a huge role there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're still trying to figure out too, in the brokerage, even carrier space, like, whose job is it to pay attention to technology, right? Like, who knows, who understands the benefits, the pros, the cons, like how to measure those? And it can be a daunting task to figure that out. But I love that leaders are taking that initiative to understand what's out there and what's available to them, or get honest with themselves if like a current platform is not, just because it's working doesn't mean it's the best thing, right?
Exactly.
And so I know I've been hearing and seeing some people in the space leaving, whether it's a legacy system or just a system that they knew, we made this choice a year ago, it wasn't the right decision, and they're willing to like do the hard thing and move, whether it's a TMS or a different tool that they're using, and constantly evaluating different things. I know that that's not, in my opinion, most people don't find it fun, but it's part of leadership,
it's
right?
Not easy. Yeah.
It's part of making sure your people have the best tools available to them that make sense.
Absolutely. And don't be blind, like listen to your team. They all have great insights at all times. So it's about you and your change management skills, of course, to get that buy-in from them, but also keep them involved and just make sure that they feel like they are doing something, that it's adding value to their operation. So yeah, it's change management. And we know more than anyone that change is hard. Because all we do when we are transitioning new customers to the new TMS is implementing a new thing, like going through changes. Like we know how hard that is for brokers. So that's exactly why we keep everyone like in the loop, and we want everyone to have very clear expectations on what's going on. One of the things that we always love to say is we know this is going to be hard and there are going to be challenges. I mean, don't think that everything is going to be perfect and you wouldn't have like any errors, any issues. Everyone is going to be absolutely happy since day one. That's not going to happen. It's going to be hard, but we are going to be there because we understand your operation, because we understand your business, and we know what you need. So we're going to be there facing all of those challenges with you. And at the end, this is going to be a great thing for your team. And we're just going to make sure that that's their final outcome. So we know change is hard, but we're here for you.
I love that, because I would like to say that I am like a pretty open-minded, like, if you tell me it's going to be great, I'm going to try to be mixed. And I've just proven myself wrong multiple times. Like when something changes within my day-to-day work, or like my tech platform or something, my email platform, I almost like gave up on my career when I had to move from Outlook to Gmail. And now, but what I was going to say is, when I lean into it, like fully, when you get through the change management and when I've adopted those things, I would never go back. Like I am a Gmail girl now through and through. I will never go back to Outlook and Teams and all of that. Like I love where I'm at with the Google Suite. And of course, like preference plays into that, but I had to go through personal change management. And when you're going through that, when someone's willing to help you and take on like that workload of training and answering the phone whenever you're frustrated and you have a question, that helps a lot. I bet you guys have some teams who do nothing but answer like the frustrated phone calls.
Of course.
They're like, can't figure it out, right? That would be me.
Yeah.
But no, I think that it's always hard up front, and we know that going into it, and just being very honest. I also heard some advice one time, if any brokers are listening and they are like considering change, that like the number one thing you can do when you're changing something is not fully explain to your team, like the thing you can do wrong is not fully explain to your team like the benefits and the long-term vision. and like bring them in on that process and explain how it will help benefit them and their role at a personal level. And like that's so critical for that buy-in. But I think that there's plenty of times people miss the mark on that.
Absolutely. And that's, as you're saying, that's the most important thing actually in change management, like have clear expectations. There's actually a really cool book that talks about change management, like how to manage change when change is hard, which is called Switch. And that's what they say, like you need to provide clear expectations and you need to show the people the path, right? Like this is where we're going and this is like the final outcome that we want to achieve. So show them the path and be with them at all stages throughout that process. Celebrate every single win, because throughout the whole process, you will have a lot of challenges, but you will also gain some like little wins. Celebrate those wins and just make sure that they are always very conscious and very aware of where you're going to. Show them the path, clear expectations, make sure they get the training, the support, and the resources they need, and you should be fine.
Awesome. Well, I had a comment from Titus a little bit ago. Good morning, Titus. He said he's at the conference as well, and that I let him hear through maybe the podcast. So it's good to know that at least somebody listens to the things I say on the show. I appreciate you joining, Titus, and come by the podcast booth here at JOC if you're here. Lina, that was an easy 30 minutes to fill. That went super fast.
Super fast.
I would love to ask you, if people have questions, if they want to learn more about TIE software, if they have maybe questions about change management, evaluating new technologies, I know that you would be more than willing to talk to them, and you have a lot of expertise in that space. How can people best get in contact with you?
Of course. Well, you can always reach out to me at Lina at tie-software.com. And I'm actually really good with my email, so feel free to message me at any time. Or to LinkedIn as well. You can find me on LinkedIn. I think usually customers have a more direct communication with my team, which I love, by the way. They get to be the rock stars that find answers for them. But yeah, I'm always available as well. If you need me, don't hesitate, reach out to me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm really glad that we got to talk through some of this. And I look forward to getting some of this content out there to all of the channels for people to be able to listen back to. And I so enjoy the partnership and collaboration with Ty as well. It's always great to work with you guys. And I have no doubt that you guys give that same high level of customer service as well to your clients. So thank you for being here.
Appreciate that. And thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone who was able to make it this morning. We are thankful that you guys met us for coffee.